Industry Voice: the hidden risks of smart meter scaling and why utilities need a sector room. A district hospital in a fast-growing city runs dialysis on schedule through a hot season evening. Solar on the roof feeds the meter, a contractor updates the control software that week, and the regional high-voltage line holds. The control room may log the event in a digital workbook while the regulator still receives a printed switching order. The staff treat reliable supply as ordinary. Their calm depends on utilities, regulators, vendors, and national agencies maturing together while the grid keeps changing. Grid modernization is a board-level priority on every continent. Capital is pouring into smart metering, distribution automation, and distributed resources at the edge. Programs such as Nigeria's DARE's Distributed Solar Initiative show how fast decentralized assets can reach clinics and small industry far from legacy bulk power footprints. Each new device widens remote access and pulls vendor support into daily operations, with data flows that cross traditional bulk power boundaries. Utilities can buy advanced control systems and install them with integrators. They still run siloed until sector dialogue aligns supervision and incident learning. A report on India's clean energy push describes transmission and generation added while distribution and integration lag, so planned megawatts reach hospitals and factories slower than headline capacity suggests. Cyber risk follows a similar logic. Sector dialogue maps how a compromised vendor's credentials propagate across operators on the same national grid, and how a rural distributor's field experience diverges from what regulators assumed in reporting rules. What sector dialogue adds beyond one utility audit? A single audit of a separate utility mainly grades that utility's own security checklist at its perimeter. They explain one perimeter, while maturity gaps between a digitalized urban utility and a rural distributor in the same country are revealed only at failures. Sector analysis treats the power sector as the coordinated group that delivers electricity in a defined geography. Operators, sector supervisors, the operational technology supply chain, and national cyber agencies that guide stress response of the sector. Resilience emerges from how those parts interact under pressure, a theme systems thinking research has stressed in cyber maturity work. Between 2021 and 2023, the World Bank applied sector cyber maturity assessment in field programs on critical infrastructure, including electricity, in Tajikistan. The bank published sectoral cybersecurity maturity model that supports that pattern in project cycles. Convene the sector's institutions, run facilitated dialogue, discover gaps that technical scans and checklists miss, and publish a prioritized roadmap of improvements. A first pass at project appraisal can score low and still map gaps across operators and regulators. Repeat dialogue at supervision milestones lets procurement and oversight follow one shared roadmap, while smart meters, control systems, and distributed solar capacities roll out. Practitioners in documented programs led focus groups and follow-up interviews, scored maturity against recognized frameworks, including the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, and turned findings into recommendations on who should hold each capability and what to prioritize first. Findings from that dialogue include stress trade-offs operators rehearse in advance, such as shedding a non-critical feeder to keep a hospital ring energized before a real failure forces the choice. Accessible AI tools may assist later with attack surface scans or log review. Field teams retain judgment on trade-offs. Broader AI extensions to sector models remain in research, separate from operational use in those programs. What shared maturity could mean for everyday life. When operators and regulators share a maturity picture before the next wave of smart meters and inverters lands, dialysis schedules hold, cold chains stay cold, and night shifts at small factories finish on schedule. Funders who convene the sector alongside hardware installs often discover tools one utility already runs that peers were only beginning to hear about. A pattern field analysis of comparable critical infrastructure engagements describes once institutions sit in the same room. That coordination is voluntary and incremental. Patience with an honest first score matters more than a polished number, and dialogue belongs in the modernization budget next to the meter and inverter rollout. Cross-institutional coordination pays off across utilities. Hospitals, factories, and rural feeders keep ordinary schedules as technology and demand shift. Power underpins every other transition story, from data centers in wealthy markets to rural clinics on decentralized solar. Grids keep changing. Resilience comes from how actors hold up under stress together. Sector maturity work woven through the life of a modernization program is one way more communities get to treat reliable, trustworthy electricity as a background fact of life. Where grids and digital systems connect across borders, that reliability becomes a global public good. Non-excludable benefits and positive spillovers that grow when institutions coordinate, so each utility shares incident learning and oversight. Lior Tabansky heads the Cyber Resilience Laboratory at Tel Aviv University and has advised World Bank sector cyber assessments in electricity, finance, health, and telecommunications.